I'd also like to say that as Chet was like ducking back and going out the way, I was like,
Yep, cool.
With all 4 arms. This isn't about budgets. This is about talent, raw talent, and the machine under me. And the machine under me is the solar wind.
Oh, the solar wind? That little thing? I barely saw it.
The gas cloud is a little slow to react and starts to move right to block me, but I've already swept left.
Let's see that D6 plus your machine's acceleration modifier.
That is a 6.
Whoa!
As well.
Whoa. What's the acceleration modifier? It's huge, isn't it?
+2 for my acceleration.
Hello, Mike and Ellen.
Hello.
hi.
Thank you for coming.
Luke.
This is what I normally wear.
This is what you... Yes, this is Mike's regular attire.
Nothing strange here.
Nothing strange here. Thank you very much. Thank you both so much for coming. Do we both know what we're doing here today?
Just about.
Yeah, I think so. As I understand it, we're going to be put into a washing machine of death in our anti-gravity racers. Is that correct?
That's right. We are playing Gravity Rip, a game that I have made.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much. At the point where you're watching this, it should be out now. So
Wow.
you can grab it in PDF form or in printed form. Actually, look, I have a printed copy here.
Oh, wow.
Look at
It's
this.
so shiny.
I know, it's so shiny, isn't it? Look at that.
You
Fully
basically wrote a
illustrated.
book.
Yeah, I know.
You're a real YouTuber now.
Yeah.
It is a theatre of the mind cooperative tabletop RPG about zero gravity death races, and I am so grateful to you both, Mike and Ellen, for volunteering to
That's all right.
play it.
If Nintendo won't make another F-Zero, we'll make one in our heads.
Well, Mike, if that's your independent editorial judgment on the game, that's all very
It is,
well.
yeah. Yeah.
It is not my legal standpoint. I'm keen to stress.
Very important to make that clear.
We will, I think, kind of like talk through the game as we go.
Sure.
But it all begins with character creation. So when you create a character in Gravity Rip, the game, you create both your racer and the machine that they drive. Your racer has one stat, a number on what is called the Chaos Theory scale from 2 to 5, 5 being the most chaotic, characters driven by emotion, favouring decisive action, and on the theory end, lower numbers, are characters who are logical thinkers, calculating, scientifically minded. You also have to create your machine, which is governed by 2 stats, acceleration and weight. Acceleration is vital for overtaking and one-on-one encounters, and a higher acceleration modifier increases how far you can advance through the pack each lap. Higher weight means you have more integrity, which is health points basically, which means you can take more damage before exploding, and you are more effective at smashing opponents into the side of the track and blocking overtakes. You start with -1 in both modifiers and have 4 points to spend, so one at a time, why don't you introduce me to your characters and their machines?
After you, Mike. Go on.
Okay, cool. I am Chase Racerson, who is the clean-cut scion of the Racerson dynasty. Big family of racers going back hundreds of years. Chase is attempting to step out of the shadow of his older sister, Pacer Racerson, who is last Space Year's champion in rip racing, but she went mysteriously missing after the final race. So in addition to trying to shoulder the burden of the family name and that burden of expectation from the billions of fans across the known galaxies, he's also trying to investigate the disappearance of his sister. So that's what he's up to. And his rip racer is called the Solar Wind. He's a very clean-cut racer, so his machine is very much poised towards acceleration rather than weight. He's not interested in getting into conflict. He's a very theory-led character, so he's not into the kind of the more underhand elements. He's the clean-cut fan favorite babyface racer.
Okay, amazing. Let me get the numbers from you, Chase. What's your Chaos Theory scale number for Chase?
My number is 2, which means I'm very, very theory.
Amazing.
Yes.
And how have you distributed the Solar Wind's acceleration and weight?
I have put 1 point into weight so that I'm not at -1 weight. I'm not that fragile. But then 3 into the acceleration, so that leaves me with a total of 2.
Nice.
We start with -1.
Fantastic. Okay, Chase. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure
Ellen,
to meet you too.
who are...
It's always good to meet a fan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I mean, you wouldn't... I would never normally ask for this, but could we get...
Would you like me to sign that?
Only
It's
if
not
you...
a picture of me, but I'll sign it anyway.
Oh, my God, I don't even have a pen.
It's fine. I carry 8 with me all the time.
Oh, okay, yeah, great. Hang on.
And I unzip my race suit and pull out a pen.
Scribble on it.
Yep. There you go.
Amazing.
Don't go selling that.
I'm trying to sell it, Mike. That's all.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Okay, Ellen, who are we today?
T-RAE, spelt R-A-E-C. And I am a robotic mechanic. I have 4 arms, and I was built in the planet-sized robotics factory known as the SAF.
Amazing. Okay.
All right.
SAF. Yep.
Now, T-RAE-C, also more commonly known as Tracy, because it's a bit faster, easier to say.
Yeah.
She operates in vehicle maintenance. That's what she was built for. Originally, she worked here kind of as a mechanic, doing bits and bobs, but she got sick of watching and wanted to take part. She was like, why am I sitting here fixing cars all the time when I could be, fixing races maybe? So she's decided to, switch it up and jumping into the races.
Sick of the sidelines.
Exactly.
Amazing. T-RAE-C. What is T-RAE-C's chaos theory number?
It's 5.
5. Maximum chaos.
Full chaos.
Okay.
Thing is, like, she's vehicle maintenance, so she's a bit of a wheeler dealer.
Oh my God. To be clear, there are no wheels.
Wheels are the one thing we don't need.
There are certainly wheels.
There are on Tracy. She's got wheels.
Oh, she runs around on casters.
Amazing. Okay, right. Just making a mental note. Add stairs to slow progress. When Tracy goes racing, what do her fans see machine-wise when they're looking out for her vehicle?
Well, she has got a rather, solidly built and fairly balanced, a nice little racer. It's fairly nippy, but it's not too easy to get past. So in terms of say if there were numbers assigned to it, it would be +1 and +1.
Lovely.
So she's got a very balanced vehicle
to offset her chaotic personality.
Yeah. There's few extra panels where there don't need to be panels, but she just likes what it looks like and feels like it might, while it adds to the bulk of it, it doesn't weigh down and prevent speed too much.
Amazing. And what's it called? What's the machine called?
It's called the M0 TAR, also known as the Motar.
Tracy's motor.
Yeah.
Does it have a big sticker over the cockpit that says Tracy?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Her tagline is Racy Tracy.
This isn't at all important for stats, but just for me and the viewers at home. What colour are your machines? I just want a little brief visual description.
My racer is a sort of like a delta shape. It's built for speed rather than sort of combat, so it kind of tapers off really smoothly. It's all smooth lines and a sort of like point to the front of it, and it matches this jacket I've got on here. So it's a very light blue, sort of bordering on turquoise with yellow accents and white accents. Looks very space age and fast, maybe a bit fragile.
And how about the Motar, Tracy?
It's bright yellow with kind of like slightly rustic, you could say, painted on phone number for anyone who wants Tracy's help with any mechanical
breakdown
deals.
repair.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so gameplay in Gravity Rip is split into 2 modes. There's story mode, which is kind of free play, if you like. This describes off-track action. We have tough talk, flourishing rivalries, underhand deals, secret meetings, mechanical sabotage. When we play story mode, the outcomes of your decisions are determined quickly by rolling a d6 in what is either a chaos or theory check, plus an extra dice if you can convince me that your reputation as a rip racer is advantageous to you in this situation. That's called the reputation roll, and I hope we will get onto it in a bit. There's also racing mode, but we will come on to that later. I think for now, why don't we set the scene? So, Chase and Tracy, we find you on the planet Vobraid, a bustling hub world and the beating heart of rip racing. Indeed, you have just stepped off a transport and are approaching the hangar, a vast megastructure that serves as headquarters for the Rip Racing League. This is the huge stadium-size metal box where pilots, mechanics, team officials prepare for races. You've both spent the last few years making a name for yourself in the lower Rip Racing leagues, but today is a big day because you've both received an invite on short notice to try out for a top-tier league team, which is called Buster Space. That is the name of the team, which very recently lost both its racers in a horrifying crash. Already a throng of fans and reporters are pressed up against the fences that border the building. You hoped to get in a bit earlier before they descended, but the transport was running late. Through the crowd, you can see a security bot manning the door.
Cool. I'm going to go over and talk to the security bot.
Okay. You press your way through the crowd, but you find that actually, like, people are packed in too densely. You're going to have to shoulder your way through, or perhaps have a word, ask politely.
There's one way to clear these people. I sign everything, faces, clothing, babies, everything. Cool. I'm just signing. I'm just doing signatures. They all know who I am.
Sure.
Signatures everywhere.
Have
a great day.
All right.
Don't put your baby on eBay.
That sounds good. I don't think there's any need to roll for that. You whip out a Sharpie and start just randomly signing. As people turn round, we're talking about the hardcore Rip Racing fans here, the ones who love the sport enough to kind of stand outside press their faces up against the gates. Even though you are not in the top tier, they recognise you, Chase.
The family name.
It's the family name.
It opens so many doors. You know.
Before you know it, in fact, the way is clear, but as you reach the security bot, you find that actually there's a lot of taps on your shoulders, people asking you, do you know what happened to Pacer? Can you speak to the rumour that she faked her own death and is hiding in the family mansion?
I'm sorry, the subject just gets me too emotional. I can't talk about it right now.
Let's say that the crowd won't let you go. Let's say that they're pressing you for answers. You're being hounded right now by the press.
I would like to step in because I'm seeing there's a lot of hounding going on here. So I would like to step in front of him and use all 4 of my arms to just push out in front and be like, excuse me, could you give the man some space, please? We are literally in space. Give him some.
I can tell we're going to get on famously.
Amazing. Let's. I tell you what. Let's make a check, just because I'm keen to get one out the way. Just for seeing how well you disperse the crowd. It sounds like you're sort of being polite but firm.
Yeah.
Or are you trying to intimidate and terrify?
I'm trying to intimidate, but not in a terrifying way. In that way that you look at someone, you're like, oh, I don't want to upset them, but I also really want them to think that I'm cool.
Okay, let's make this a chaos check. So you roll a d6. Your number is 5. If you roll lower than your number, so if you roll a d6 and get lower than 5, that is a success. If it's higher than a d5, then that is a failure. And if it's 5 exactly, that's a critical success. If you want, you can add an extra dice to this roll using the reputation roll. Let me read you the description for that straight from the source text. When not in a race, you can attempt to leverage your racer's reputation to boost your odds when you make a chaos or theory check. You can only use your most recent race, because in Rip Racing you are only as famous and as notable as your most recent escapades. And if you have never done a race before, well, I suppose your reputation is that of an unproven newbie, an unknown quantity. So perhaps think how that could be used to your advantage.
Yeah, I think. How can I use this? I think, can Tracy try her luck? As someone she's sort of vaguely known in the the racing sphere.
These are the hardcore fans, so they will have been
mechanics. Yeah, if it was just anyone, it wouldn't matter, because it's the hardcore fans. You're like, hey, I'm someone who have fixed many of the cars that have been left in pieces out there, I should hopefully have a little bit of respect on my name. But also,
I see. They'll spot that you are a respected racer from the from the lower leagues and take you seriously. I suppose also if they're fans, they'll recognise your model as a a sort of repair bot and. Okay. Yeah. Go on then. So roll twice and take whichever result you want.
I hold up my cellular device and I'm like, look how many things are fixed. Look at all these racers that follow me. Yeah, all that.
Yeah, nice.
Famous by association.
Cool.
All right. Oh, I got 2 5s.
Wow. Okay, 2 5s. Yeah. You whir your mechanical arms around.
Crit.
Yeah. You're basically just trying to sort of show off how many followers you have, but you move with such strong and imposing mechanical grace. It's like if General Grievous was kind of spinning around trying to get a selfie. That's how it looks, and everyone sort of backs up.
I duck.
Yeah.
You duck.
You duck, and behind you the security bot goes,
names and passes.
Chase Racerson, I'm sure you've heard of me, and I whip the pass out of another pocket inside my racing jacket.
Chase Racerson, scanning. Beep. Verified, you are late.
Fashionably so, but yes, quite late.
Please try not to be late in future.
Fine.
Right. I'm T-RAE-C. Here's my card, and maybe if you don't want us to be late in future, you'll make sure that this area is clear.
Robot sass, I like it.
I think we're definitely still rolling that 5. The security bot goes, scans, just in silence. I think just takes it, gives it back, presses a button under the thing, and a gap in the fences opens up, allowing you through. As you pass through, you spot someone sort of half running, half jogging out of the hangar towards you. It is a bipedal warthog in a tweed suit, and they
the promoter.
She jogs over to you and says, the new blood. You recognise this as Mary Weslington, the team manager of Buster Space. She extends a hoof. Yep.
Yeah, I instinctively go to shake a hand and then just sort of awkwardly high five the hoof because I don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, well, how modern. Marvellous. Yes. And you must be Tracy.
Yes, I shake her hand, but with both of my right hands.
Cool. She's sort of bounced up and down a little bit.
Like there's one on the hoof and then one like slightly further up the arm.
Sure. You can feel the tweed suit just like slightly give a little bit under the thing, but you let go before it tears. Yes, Mary welcomes you warmly and says, "We're so thrilled for your tryouts tomorrow morning. If you would be so kind as to follow me, I would love to show you to the Buster Space paddock."
Let's go.
Sure.
Yeah,
let's head that way.
Absolutely. It's where I live. It's my turf. It's my yard. The
Nice.
paddock. I was born here. I was raised here.
You were bred in the paddock.
I was bred in the paddock.
Like a horse.
like yes, it makes it sound like I'm a horse.
Yeah.
But a thoroughbred horse. All right.
So funny, I was born in a paddock as well.
Not a sty then.
Oh goodness, no, it was
Good.
much cleaner.
Glad to hear.
Oh no. Yeah, and she sort of sets a brisk pace as she walks you into the hangar.
Is she
as you
galloping
walk
on
in-
all fours, or is she still?
Oh no,
bipedal?
she is upright.
Right.
She
Fair
is
enough.
she is very much bipedal. Very much bipedal. Yeah, she strolls into the hangar as you enter this space. It is your eyes adjust to the darkness because it is quite dim in here. It is a vast space. It is mostly taken up by racing teams who have their individual sort of paddocks and setups. It's very noisy in here. Sparks are flying from like mechanics shouting, people arguing about telemetry, people over at certain points you can see other teams giving press interviews. It's organized chaos in here, and Mary leads you over to a paddock in the corner of the hangar. It's quite a small space compared to some of the other teams. It's got a blue and white theme, and there's a There's the Buster Space family crest sort of mounted above it, and she sort of leads you past a press manager and into this area. She turns around and says, "Your machines have already been brought in. There they are." And she points over to where you can see, being inspected by mechanics. Is the motor and the solar wind looking good and getting shinier every moment. If I could just ask you to come with me, we'll sign contracts and I can answer any questions you have about the course tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'll sign anything. I will sign literally anything.
That's exactly how we like our young racers.
Yes.
Mary leads you into a back room. She sort of has some hollow contracts kind of beamed up out of a desk. You just have to sort of place your hand in there and sign it if you're willing to.
Can I inspect the contract? Is there anything I should know in there?
Yeah, I tell you what. Make me a theory check.
All right. That's a 2, which is my number. So
which is your number? Amazing.
Yeah.
Right, a double crit. Yeah, you inspect the contract, and you've seen racing contracts before, Chase. So the bit that immediately jumps out at you is the bit that clearly Buster Space has tried to hide a little, which is a little bit of text at the bottom that just specifies that the Buster Space team retains 100% of any merchandising profits.
Mary.
Yes, Chase.
Now, as you know, I have a wide range of merchandise under the Racerson name. It's a vast empire, really. We sell across the known galaxies. I'm going to need this clause taken out, unfortunately. We can come to some kind of agreement that while I'm representing your team, which I will be, because obviously this tryout's going to be no problem whatsoever. But what you need to do is renegotiate this piece of the contract, because there is no way you can have 100% of the likeness rights for merchandise of this whole deal.
How did that get in there? Sorry, that must have been. It's a boilerplate contract. I'm sure I asked our people to have that typed up. She performs a few swoops and holds a hoof to her forehead and closes her eyes and just beams some new words into the contract.
Right, great.
You now get a 20% split.
Great.
Miss Tracy, I assume you will be demanding the same.
Yes, please. I've got my own range of heeled footwear. Wheeled. They're called heel wheels.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the name.
High heels.
Yeah. So, because, it's how I was built, but, they didn't properly patent it. So why not? If everyone wants to look like me when I'm a cool, famous racer.
No worries. The clause is amended. Mary sort of fixes you both with quite a serious look and says, "Now, I think you'll agree that I've proven I can be flexible on terms.
Yes.
Well, let me make clear exactly what we expect from you tomorrow. We need winners. I'll be frank.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Buster, I'm glad to hear it, Mr. Chase, but I'll believe it when I see it on the track tomorrow. This won't be like any race you've done in the lower leagues. Expect it to be more ferocious and more deadly. I suspect if you've ever spoken, Chase, to your sister Chase Racerson, God's rest her soul, if indeed she be dead. Well, she may have told you a little bit about it, but I'm afraid nothing can quite prepare you for the ferocity of the racing that you're
Slightly piqued at the mention of my sister. I'll be too far ahead to have to worry about the deadliness or supposed deadliness of this race. So,
well then,
let's not worry about it.
Well then, we won't have a problem. What I want from you tomorrow is a podium finish. Ideally, both of you, but I'll settle for one. I won't. If one of you doesn't make the podium, I won't be kicking that racer off the team or anything. It's just important that as a team, we make it onto the podium. And, well, maybe this will determine the number of races we are keen to contract you on to perform. It could be the difference between staying on for the rest of the season, or maybe just one or two races while we cast our net a little wider, shall I say. I think you'll agree that's more than fair.
Absolutely. Results. That's what pays the bills.
Results pay the bills. You're familiar with the Buster Space credo, and she points to the wall, and in Latin...
It's a big sign above the door when I came in.
Results pay the bills. I mean, it's clear that clearly the results haven't been coming in, because this whole team seems a little down at heel. Out of her holodesk, she sort of presses a few buttons or something, and a holo map of a race course comes up. Mm-hmm. She says, "This is the course you'll be racing tomorrow. I don't imagine either of you will have raced it before, but it's a fairly straightforward figure eight. It's the Centauri Burner 8. It's called a rather straightforward figure eight course, half high banked as you can see, and it's on a magma planet. So so watch out for magma.
Heat up, you could say.
Yes, very good. Yes, I could see. Can I give you the logins for our social channels?
It's not in the contract, T-RAE-C. Don't do anything more than it's in the contract.
If it's not in my contract, can I have an additional clause that pays me for that, please?
I'll see what we can type up. Mary clearly wasn't expecting this much contract haggling, but she is remaining polite. The course is as you sort of see it on this hollow thing. It's a imagine a flat figure eight, but then like half of it was sort of folded up like that. It's kind of an L shape from the side. So that's what you'll be racing on tomorrow. Mary says, "That's all for now. If you want, I've got a few calls to make. But if you wanted to, walk around, make yourselves comfortable."
Absolutely. I'm going to go and inspect my machine and check that the team, which has not been performing particularly well, isn't doing anything weird to my racer.
Very smart. Okay, on your way out of the building, you do in fact spot two unfamiliar entities in your paddock. They appear to be crouched down by your machine, Tracy. They're looking at the motor. You both recognise them as you get a little bit closer. This is Chet and Flo Everglide. They are roughly 8 foot tall bird people. They are brothers. They race on the same team, a team called the Earth Talons. Chet is the older brother. He's the golden boy of rip racing. He wins consistently. Flo is barely any less successful. He's a younger brother. They're both in the bright red of Team Earth Talons. Chet has greased back head feathers, and Flo is, sort of stood behind him, just looking a bit sulky. And Chet is basically like shoving a repair droid out of the way. Tracy,
looking for a few pointers, boys.
Yeah, what the hell do you think you're doing to my motor?
They spin around. Chet sort of stands up and kind of... He looks momentarily startled to see you, but then quickly adopts a casual lean. Actually, he does a casual lean on the motor and says, "Hey, Flo, you really think this thing's going to run tomorrow? It doesn't look like much."
Could you get your elbows off, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to leave your machine looking like trash. Oh, wait. And Flo finishes the sentence. It already does! And they high five.
That must look weird, given that they're bird people, but...
Yeah, a few feathers sort of like... It doesn't make a very good slap, it's kind of more of a soft...
I can't imagine they've got good contact.
Yeah, it's a soft kind of... sort
Boys,
of
you wouldn't be over here if you weren't worried.
Yeah.
Chet points at your racing uniforms, which are sort of folded up next to your machines, and says, "So anyway, they wash the blood out of that thing, or would Laundry Day stretch the Buster Space budget a little too far?"
This isn't about budgets. This is about talent, raw talent, and the machine under me. And the machine under me is the solar wind. You'll get a really good view of the rear end of it. Those rear impellers as I blast past you both.
Oh, the solar wind? That little thing? I barely saw it.
Yeah, because it's so sleek and lightweight and fast.
Did they accidentally knock half of it off when they brought it in here?
No, I just don't drive around in a ruddy tank like you two.
Whatever, dudes. And Chet and Flo high five again with a flumping noise.
Well, Chet, Flo, if you want to take a look at my motor, feel free. I think it needs to clear out at the front, around the grill, because, ran over a few pigeons and, sometimes they might be caught up in there. Because the thing is, when there's a bird in the road, I don't stop.
Absolutely savage. I love it.
Chet and Flo are both seriously flustered. Their feathers go around their necks. And Flo sort of steps forward and goes, "Listen, you. Bird strike is a serious issue, and there's not enough being done to address it." And Chet, mastering himself a bit faster, steps in front of him. "Whoa, cool it, little bro. We'll settle this on the race tomorrow, assuming this thing runs." And as they walk off, Chet gives the Motar a disparaging kick. Conk, like that. The repair droids briefly look concerned, like it might tip over off of its grav supports, but it does not.
You're probably going to want to check your vehicle for sabotage. They were here for quite a while before we arrived.
I'm going to check my vehicle, but before that, I'm going to find the nearest oily rag, scrunch it up into a ball, and throw it as hard as I can at either one of them.
Which, as a robot, is probably pretty hard.
Yeah. Which one kicked it?
Chet.
Chet. I'm going to throw it at Chet.
Yeah, cool. Make me a chaos check for that. If you don't forget, at any time, you can make it 2 dice if you can think of a way that your reputation contributes to the likelihood of you nailing them with a rag.
Yeah, I think the rag, I can't do it. Alright. Oh no, I got a 6.
Oh, okay.
It does that thing where you throw a towel and then it just goes.
Yeah. It goes like that, and it actually, sometimes you throw a paper airplane and it just whiffs off to the side. Yeah. It sort of does that and just lands like a little bit ahead and just next to Chet and Flo, and they just slowly look down on it. A passing businessman who's showing some journalists around, who's walking backwards, giving a tour, slips on it and falls over.
I hide.
My sponsor.
Yeah, the sponsors. Chet and Flo just give you a withering look over their shoulders and walk away chuckling.
Yeah, that was just a warning. Wasn't actually aiming for you. Sharp.
You're out of earshot now.
Yeah, I'm just mumbling it.
Sure. Mary at this point comes out of the office and so, making friends already, I see.
They were messing with my vehicle.
Well, I have no doubt that our repair droids would have seen them off. Industrial espionage is something we take very seriously.
No, the droids got knocked to one side. Look, I have been in this job, okay? I've done their work before, and you've got to be more vigilant than these little tiny droids. Where's your actual security?
Well, I could run you through the finances of how much a fully furnished security bot really costs. Frankly, this is all we can afford.
Goodness sakes.
It's fine. Once we start winning, it won't be a problem.
Yeah. Better not be. No one messes with my motor.
Mary gives the repair bots a little bit of a telling off, but quite half-heartedly, and then she turns to you both, and says, "Listen, that's all our business concluded. You'll need to be back here tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. sharp for the start of the race. I suggest you both go home and get some rest, frankly."
Before I do, I am going to go and head over to my solar wind and just going to do that thing where I just make tiny tweaks that couldn't possibly account for more than 1,000th of a second over a lap. But,
sure.
It's more about the confidence. It's more about knowing that I've inspected every bit myself and
Great.
And tweaked things to my liking.
Let's make me a theory check then, and just this will just to see how.
That is a 6.
A 6. Yeah, that's fine. You give it the full rundown. You check everything is working. You also establish that whatever Chet and Flo may have been planning on doing, you don't know if they were planning on sabotaging your machines or if they're just trying to psych you out or get a look at a rival machine. But in any case, they have not interfered with the.
Just pull a couple of feathers out of the intake, and that's about it. Right?
Yeah.
These guys molting?
Always.
I'm not very I'm not very logical, but I am a mechanic, so hopefully that will help. So I'm going to
Just
have
hit
a
it with
look.
the hammer until it goes faster.
Yeah, that's kind of always been my thing. So I'm going to have a look around, check for any.
No worries. I tell you what. Seeing as you're
traps.
going to be just hitting it with a hammer, why don't we make this a chaos check?
Yeah, I'm just like hitting it random things and seeing if anything falls off.
Cool.
And in which case it wasn't mine, because I make sure it's properly attached. Oh, another 6.
Another 6. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You look round. Okay.
Gone for a theory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, who knew? I'll tell you what. This isn't in the rules, but I'm slightly making this up as we go now. But let's say that you are so sort of flustered and annoyed by Chet and Flo bothering you that as you go about your normally, very very passionate but very 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 good, and very accurate sort of checks and upgrades and things. You just knock your the motor just a little too hard, and you just put a nasty ding in it. We haven't talked about integrity points yet, so let's do that now and just say that for tomorrow's race you'll be going in with -1. Just -1 at the start, which isn't too big a deal, but it's just a bit of a nasty ding. Right, let's do that though. Let's talk about integrity. So your default in integrity score is 8, and for every point over 0 you have in weight, you get +1 to that. If you have a weight score of -1, then your integrity is 7. So let's see, you would be solar wind, you would have 8. I think that's straight down the line, the default. And the motar, you would have 9 points to spend because you have 1 point over 0 in weight. But having just accidentally dinged your own machine, will take you down to 8. I will ask you both, if you don't mind, just to keep track of your own integrity as we go. Right, okay. Where are we headed now? What's the plan? I'm
going to go have a meal of nutritionally balanced paste, ready for my racing debut in this series, and hit the gym as well. That seems like the sort of thing Chase would do. You know, he's a little in his head about it, even though he outwardly exudes confidence. I think actually he wants to make sure everything is just so before this racing debut.
Sure. He's got to get his pH balance in his stomach
exactly
just so and stuff. Okay. Cool.
Tracy is going to go and recharge, literally.
Brilliant. Yep.
Plug in.
Cool.
Charging closet.
Chase, as you're on your way out of the gym, heading back to the hotel that you've both been put up in for the night. Yes. You're just leaving the changing rooms when out of a shadowy corner a figure sort of emerges. They are wearing a long cloak and a hood, and as they walk,
I panic and instinctively sign the hood.
Yeah, sure, no need to roll for that. The figure stops advancing and takes down the hood and looks at the signature a little confused. It is a skeleton with two digital with two digital eye patches.
Wow.
From the planet Skeleton, but all of the E's are 3s. Let's say that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Terribly sorry about that. It's just a muscle memory thing.
Pay it no mind. In a grating voice, the skeleton says, "I represent a consortium of interested parties who would be very much delighted if Chet Everglide were to be kept off the podium tomorrow." At this point, the skeleton produces a briefcase, touches a sort of bony finger to it. I guess it's a fingerprint lock, but for bones. And the briefcase just sort of whirs open.
Right.
Inside is 5,000 crits in cash. That's a lot of money. That's about as much money as you would win for coming first in a race. And to sweeten the pot, the skeleton says, and pulls out what looks like a sort of little bag of marbles and shakes it around, and indeed it makes a marble-like rattle. You recognise the distinctive rattle of vaults, which are the the currency within the RIP racing world. Vaults let you repair your machine and replace integrity. When if you save up enough, you can make permanent upgrades to your machine. So these are a valuable thing to have. There's 12 in there, mate. 5,000 crits, 12 volts. If Chet Everglide were to be kept off the podium tomorrow by any means necessary.
Well, I assume you're all legitimate businessmen, right?
We are certainly businessmen.
That's not really the answer I was looking for. Obviously, Chase is highly aware of how important his reputation is, but equally, he's also seen that this team he's signed on with is considerably more shabby than it at first appeared. So he's starting to worry. He's starting to get in his own head a bit. So he's going to accept it, and in that very Chase Racerson sort of way, assume that it'll probably be fine. Either way.
As you reach out towards the briefcase, the skeleton sort of pulls it back and says, "One more thing.
Yes.
If you accept, nothing must interfere with Flo's race.
Right.
Do we have a deal?"
Sure. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Marvellous. The skeleton extends a bony hand.
I look around for members of the press before I shake it.
There are none, but good instincts, yeah. Then the deal is done. And the skeleton makes a gesture that you don't recognise, which is the devil horns, and then the horns are locked together to make a kind of V valley and looks down at you like with a glowing eye kind of at them like this, and then melds back into the darkness.
Don't sell that hood.
I won't, you hear from the darkness. Alright, the deal is accepted. Chet must be kept off the podium, and nothing must interfere with Flo's race. Let's skip forward to the next morning, where you're back in the hangar, heading to your machines to be loaded into the transporter base for the race.
I'm going to offer to split the winnings, because actually,
I think so.
If anything's going to, well, not the winnings, sorry, let's call it a bribe, because that's basically.
Let's call it what it is. Yeah.
Because obviously, the two of us stand a better chance of doing it together. And also, Tracy has the more substantial machine anyway. So if anyone's going to, be able to collide with Chet and cause him issues, it's Tracy, because my solar wind will just crumple like tinfoil if I try and ram it into anything.
Okay, great work. Okay, so at this point, every machine is being grav-towed into. On the farthest wall of the hangar, there are 20, because there are 20 races in a RIP race. There are 20 sort of bays set into the wall, and machines. Once you're in your machine, it is kind of towed in there, and they are teleported onto the starting grid off-world in random order. The League does this to keep races enjoyably chaotic. So I think if there's no other business that we want to do before we head to the race,
I'm going to stand on top of the solar wind and blow kisses to every single person present, regardless of gender, orientation, or species.
Sure.
It takes a good half an hour.
I mean, mostly in the hangar here are people working hard.
Mm-hmm.
They're
getting kisses blown as well.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of cameras. It's tightly controlled, like what you can film in the hangar, obviously for security reasons. But everyone, you know what?
Word of mouth. My reputation precedes me, and I must maintain that reputation.
The team feels great about the support that you're giving them. Right. Okay. As you clamber into your machines and down into the cockpit, helmets on. In the cockpit, you can see you have a digital readout that tells you your position in the pack of 20, as well as where everyone else is, and there is a radio link to talk to your teammate, and that is about it. Other than that, these things are like little analog controlled Faraday cages, so communication with the outside world is tightly controlled. And I will now roll a d20 to determine the positions of both of you on the starting grid, as well as the positions of the characters who you have established as rivals, namely Chet and Flo. Okay, so we'll start with... Why don't we start with Chet and Flo? Ooh, okay. All right. Chet's going to start in 9th.
Mid-pack.
Mid-pack. Spicy. Pretty good, though. Okay, and... Ooh, okay, and Flo is in 13th.
Unlucky for some.
Unlucky for some. Well, Chase. That's 20. Ooh. Okay, that hurts, but I'm abiding by the dice.
Normally that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Not in this scenario.
Not in this scenario, yeah. That is unfortunately a natural 20, which is, unfortunately in racing scoring, we're looking for the opposites.
Got a lot of work to do.
But, don't despair, because who's this? It's Tracy with... Ooh, that is also 13, so you take the position behind. That is interesting. So you are going to be starting in 14th.
So which Chet or Flo was 13?
It
Flo.
was Flo.
Okay.
Chet's 9th.
Yeah, Chet's 9th. Amazing, right. With a sort of dissolving kind of loads of sparkles. Let's say it's loads of sparkles. You are teleported off-world, and all of a sudden, out the hangar disappears around you, and there's a flash of blinding brilliance as you are teleported to this lava planet. You're on the starting grid now with 20 other machines. There are high-banked, what are they called? Spectator seating. Grandstands. Thank you. Thank you, Chase. Huge grandstands to your left and your right. The roar of supporters and spectators is kind of coming through your pretty soundproof cockpit even, and seems to make the place tremble.
I'm limbering up.
Yep. You're flexing.
Smiling at the cameras.
You're getting ready. All the machines just sort of bob up off of the ground as the rip drive is enabled, and ahead of you at the start line, a series of lights blink on and then blink, and then sort of like one goes out, another goes out, another goes out, and eventually the last one just winks out, and you're off. You push down the thruster.
0 to 700 in 3 seconds.
Yes, exactly. You are almost immediately travelling at over 1,000 kilometres per hour. Your strong, muscular human and robot necks can just about handle the G's through in serious training and, let's say, a bunch of genetic modification as well in your case, Chase. Because you were bred for this. And you are off. Okay, racing mode. So each race consists of 3 laps. Each lap has 2 phases within it. So I'm going to read again straight from the source.
How weird and cool does it feel to be reading something that you wrote that's in a book?
It feels terrifying because I'm absolutely sure I'm going to spot a typo. And you know what?
Probably will.
There's going to be a few of them in there. I did my very best. Okay.
No, it's on purpose because it's all space stuff. It's fine.
Yep.
Space stuff. Yeah, if you see a typo, it's on purpose.
It's just a space spelling.
So, a lap in Gravity Rip is divided into 2 phases. They are called Helicam phase and Maneuvers phase. This is because every on-track encounter with a fellow Rip racer is a deadly battle of nerve and lightning reflexes. But with 20 competitors on the course, there's no time to describe every overtake and desperate sideswipe as you jostle your way through the pack. That's why Helicam phase is a helicopter montage that sums up how all players' fortunes shift over the course of an entire lap. And then we move on to the second phase, Maneuvers phase, where we zoom in for a gritty and painful one-on-one battle at the climax of that lap. Each phase has its own things to attempt, and we start with the racer at the top of the field, who in this case actually is Chet. So now I'm going to just do some rolls for them. Chet will absolutely certainly be trying to advance. So when you try to advance, I'm talking now to Chet, you roll a d6 and add your machine's acceleration modifier.
And he's
Plus,
like, bruh.
I'm Chet.
Roll a d6 and add my machine's acceleration modifier.
I hope my feathers don't get caught in my own engine.
I don't mind telling you that for Chet, that was just a 3 plus acceleration modifier gives him 5. That means that Chet can move up 5 positions this lap in Helicam phase, which is pretty impressive. However, when you fight the pack fights back, and when you try to advance on your lap, you have to contend with something called the pushback roll, which, as the GM, is a d6 that I roll. He's got to make up the result of the pushback roll in either integrity, health lost, or positions not gained. Basically, the pushback roll generalizes how savage fighting is this lap, basically. So let's roll that, see what the number is. Okay, that's a 3. Chet is pretty driven, though, and a 3 isn't too bad, so Chet is going to take that all in integrity damage, I think. Yep. I'm rolling for Flo now. Oh, gosh, okay. All right, Flo slightly whiffed that. Okay. Next we move to... You started in 14th, Tracy. You are sort of, in the back half of the pack. Around you, you can see cars already starting to slam into each other and bounce off the side. The sky is filled with fiery meteors that are, constantly raining down, mostly falling either side of the track, but occasionally forcing you to, swerve around one of them that just lands. What do you want to do?
I want to try and advance.
Nice.
I want to get ahead.
Your other options, which I'm sure we will get to at some point, are to try and hold your position or try to retreat. If you want to retreat, you can do so. You don't have to roll for it. You can always retreat as far as you want with no cost, including retreating so far that you get lapped and end up in the top of the pack again, if that makes sense. That immediately gets you disqualified, but for one more lap you can stay on the track and attempt things. Okay, so we'll be wanting to advance, so roll me a d6 and add the Motar's acceleration bonus.
Oh, that's a 6 plus 1 is 7. Oh, that's when you want a 6.
That is spicy. Okay, wow, that's amazing. So that's a result of 7. That gets you potentially up to 7th place this lap, but I am now going to roll push back. You want low numbers here. It's a 5. It's 5. So yeah, the fighting in this kind of mid part of the pack is absolutely brutal. So you can, in any combination you like, take that 5 in integrity lost or positions not gained. It's up to you.
So can I take a number? Can I split that between the two?
You can split that, yeah. So if you want to, for example, just take 2 integrity damage, then you would sacrifice 3 positions.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll take 2 hits. I'll take 2 hits at the start.
Okay, cool. So mark off
so.
-2 integrity, and
cool.
That's 3 then off your maximum of 7, which is 4. So you're on course for 10th place. Right, Chase, you've started in 20th. You can see every racer ahead of you. In fact, as the as you approach the first turn, which takes you up onto this high banked vertical section of the track, and you can just see every racer just looming up ahead of you. Like a list of your flaws. It's an awful time. What are we doing?
All the reasons I'm not as good as my sister.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I would like to advance and try and remedy that.
Okay, let's see that d6 plus your machine's acceleration modifier.
That is a 6.
Whoa!
As well.
Whoa. Yes! What's the acceleration modifier? It's huge, isn't it?
+2 for my acceleration.
So what's that in total? 8.
8. Give me a low pushback.
Chase!
I need these positions.
Chase is making chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he is. But here we go. Here comes the pushback. Oh. Okay, that rolled onto the floor, but it did settle before it did. Oh, we'll take the floor result, which is 2. 2.
I like it. Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. So will you be taking that just in damage, or
I think that's fine for the moment.
Don't even worry about it. Cool. So that gets you up to right at the end of Helicam phase. It's my job to basically sum up the shifting fortunes of all racers. So as we scream into the final straight, we have Chet is doing pretty well. Has made it up to 4th place this lap. Has built on a solid starting position. But it's not nearly so impressive again as Tracy, who is currently in 10th place. Pretty good. You've made it into the top half of the pack. Flo Everglide, Chet's brother, got snarled up in the mid-pack this lap and moved barely at all, and is overtaken at the end by you, Chase. So you end this lap by just squeaking past Flo into 12th. You're in 12th, and Flo is just behind you, behind the Solar Wind, in 13th. Okay, so now we zoom in for Maneuvers phase, which is a close-up battle. I'll just roll quickly for Chet versus their opponent. I know what Chet wants to do. Okay, Chet has not managed it. Next up, Tracy, as the second highest in position. You are currently in 10th place. You have the option now in Maneuvers phase to attempt one more overtake, so go for an overtake. You can attempt a slam attack, which is a sort of damaging, launching yourselves into a damaging attack at the machine ahead or behind, or you can block, which basically is trying to stop the machine behind from getting past.
I would like to try and overtake.
Cool.
Just a simple overtake.
I suspected you might. Okay, now in Maneuvers phase, rolls are basically contests. Your opponent, who is in 9th, let's find out who your opponent is. You're finishing this lap just behind... cool. Just behind a ship called the Gallimimus, which has a racer you recognise in the Gallimimus. It can only be Osteropteryx, a sort of saurian. The
dinosaur osteopath.
Yeah. The Gallimimus it's built a little bit like the Solar Wind. It's bright green, but it's like a sort of polished cigar tube. It's a real acceleration machine. So although it's pretty nippy, it's not brilliant at blocking and defending overtakes from behind. So you will have an advantage here. So when you want to attempt an overtake, roll a d6, add your acceleration modifier, and your opponent rolls when you're overtaking, rolls a d6 plus their weight modifier to try and stop you. Okay.
1 + 1 is 2.
Oh, 1 + 1 is 2. Oh my gosh. Well, all they got was a 2.
Wow.
And hang on, let me check the chart. That is a 0. Okay, yeah, unfortunately,
It's
yeah,
not
you
a -1. We couldn't have been like.
Yeah, if it was, yeah, if the as you okay, so you feint left, feint right, and try to just power through on the left, but it appears that the Gallimimus is a little faster than you anticipated.
It's also just so bright
Tracy.
green that I'm just a bit like.
Yeah, you're just a little blinded, and
it's a bit loud. I mean, I know mine's yellow, but God,
it just manages to pull into that defensive position, which forces you to just hit the brakes just for a moment, and you scream across the finish line at the start end, the lap line.
Literally, because my eyes.
Yeah, still intense. Right, now let's move to Chase. Okay, Chase.
Yes.
Ahead of you is in 11th place is a competitor called Night Owl. Night Owl is... I'm using some generation charts here to figure this out. Night Owl is a sentient gas cloud.
So not an owl.
No, not an owl.
Okay.
The sentient gas cloud sort of roughly takes the form of an owl.
Okay, fair.
But only roughly. Okay. Night Owl is racing in a machine called the BX5 Black Knight. It takes up an enormous amount of your cockpit view, Chase, because this thing is an absolute behemoth. It is a hulking great machine. It kind of lumbers, kind of zigzagging to and from the track. Behind you is Flo, so you have the option to try and overtake the Black Knight, or do a slam attack on it, or you could do a slam attack on Flo, or you could try and block Flo, although need I remind you that would...
I have the words of a skeleton ringing in my ears.
Yeah, yes you do.
I'd like to overtake the Black Knight, because
nice.
the more distance I can put between me and Flo, the less likely it is that I'm going to get tied up in Flo's race, because Flo has no idea that I'm not supposed to interfere. So if we get into a running battle, contact might occur, which might be misconstrued by, I don't know, let's say a space skeleton.
A skeleton, yeah. You wouldn't want a skeleton to get the wrong end of the space stick.
Yeah.
Okay, so make me a...
Or lightsaber, as we like to call them.
Yeah. Okay, right, make me a roll then for... so it's a d6 plus your acceleration.
I'm going to use my superior maneuverability to jink right and then sweep left and try and pass the Black Knight. And I've rolled a 5, which is good.
Oh,
plus
okay.
my acceleration, which is that right? Plus my acceleration?
Yeah, plus your acceleration, so that's a
7
5.
in total.
Oh my gosh, okay, incredible. Well, Night Owl also rolled pretty well with a ludicrous modifier of 3 to weight. That was a 3 as well for 6. But yeah, you've done it. Brilliant work. Yeah, you describe how this looks.
So I've got the flight yoke, and I turn it to the right. But even as I'm doing that, I then yank it to the left, and the gas cloud is a little slow to react and starts to move right to block me. But I've already swept left, and I just managed to scythe past, scraping the very tip of my wing against the Black Knight, causing a shower of sparks, and the crowd go wild.
Yes, just as you pass the BX-5 Black Knight, you have to look up because that cockpit is some distance, some feet above you, but you just briefly see a owl-shaped gas cloud turn red with rage, just momentarily. And let's see.
I do a little point, thanks for the position, gas cloud.
Well, now Flo, it's now Flo's manoeuvre. Flo's going to try and get past the gas cloud as well, and has done it. Well done, Flo.
Crikey.
Okay. Right, as we move into lap 2, here's how things stand. We've got Chet Everglide in 4th place. Tracy, you are holding 10th position. Now, right behind you is Chase in the Solar Wind, and Flo has managed to basically hang on to 12th. Now, from the second lap, things stay broadly the same. We're going back into helicam phase, and then we'll do manoeuvres, and then we'll do that again for the third lap. However, from this point, you can do something called overclocking, which is essentially trading health for improved odds. So before you roll, you have to tell me if you're going to do it before. You basically pick a number, any number that you want, and just take that amount of integrity off your machine and add it to the roll you're about to do. I would encourage you to do it because, frankly, you're both in the middle of the pack, and the vehicle you have to stop is all the way up in 4th.
Yeah, and the laps are running down.
The laps are running down. So let's see how Chet's doing. Very savage pushback. I don't think Chet is going anywhere. Right, let's move to Tracy.
Could he be savagely pushed into the lava?
He is having to work so hard to not go in the lava that, unfortunately, I think that's pretty much going to be Chet's whole lap. Mm-hmm. Okay, Tracy, you're in 10th. What's the goal?
I am going to advance as much as I possibly can.
Amazing. Will we be overclocking this roll at all?
Yes. I'm going to overclock by 2.
Cool. Just take 2 off.
Take 2 off my integrity. That is a 4. So plus 2, plus 1, that is another 7.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
What about the pushback? It's a 3.
Right, I'm going to take 1.
Okay. So you're going to take 1 damage and lose 2 positions.
Yeah.
Cool.
Of the 3 pushback, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to move forward.
If you sacrifice 2 positions, that would bring you up to 5th place.
Yes.
Pretty good for the end of lap 2.
Pretty good. Cool. All right, so just, mark that integrity cost as well. Okay. Next is you, Chase, in the Solar Wind.
I'm going to have to advance again, and I would like to overclock by 2, please, before I make this roll.
Cool.
Because I really need to put some distance between me and Flo.
Cool.
He's giving chase. I think the the gas cloud's enraged state meant that it took its eye off. If it even has eyes, it took its eye off the ball momentarily, and that's what allowed Flo through as well. So
Cool.
I'm really going to need to put some distance between me and Flo. So yes, overclock by 2, please. And I'm going to roll. I've got another 6. I'm honestly not lying.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
rolling really well.
So what does that get you in total?
So in total, that is the 6 plus my 2 from my acceleration, plus the 2 from my integrity, for a total of 10.
Oh my god. Okay.
What a lap.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
You know,
6.
historians of the Gravity Rip League will look back on this moment as the moment where Chase Racerson really arrived on the scene.
Well, Mike, I don't want to overhype you too much, but you're driving with enough ferocity and skill to theoretically get all the way up to first.
But
lap.
the pushback is
But
coming.
the pushback is coming, and the pushback is... Gosh, it's just 2. Okay,
Wow. So if I take the 2...
2. If you take the 2 integrity damage, you can be in first.
No, but if I...
But if you take,
Where exactly is Chet at the moment?
he's in.
Chet is in helicam phase. Nothing is certain until everyone has rolled and moved. But I mean, Chet was struggling a little bit, dealing with some magma fields. You have comfortably you'll comfortably overtake Chet.
I would like to. Yeah, what I want to be.
You want to come to rest just ahead.
Just ahead of Chet. Yes, please.
Okay, no worries. Well, in that case, you can just drop back to third.
Yep. So
And,
I'll take that 2 penalty, and I will pop into the third, and hopefully Chet will be behind me by the end of the lap. But we'll
Yep.
see.
Yep.
We'll see.
We will see. We will see. Cool. And I'll roll for Flo. 1. Flo, you suck. No wonder the Skeleton Consortium has to
Step in.
has to step in and do something. Right. Well, we'll move you up a little bit. Unbelievable. And you know what? I'm also going to see how Night Owl's doing, just for
Fun.
yeah, Night Owl stays competitive. Good. Okay, fantastic. Things are hotting up as we move into the final straight of lap 2. Here's how things look. Chet has had an absolute nightmare of a lap, basically like really struggling to just hold the position that he managed to establish, and the lap doesn't get worse than the point, Chase, at which you just cruise by, didn't even see you coming, just dock in just in front of him. So you are in third, Chase. We have Chet in 4th, and spicily we have Tracy in 5th place. So we have a little crocodile going. Flo is in 9th. Poor Flo. Okay, now Chase.
Yes.
Maneuvers phase time. Here are your options. Attempt an overtake, which I don't
Yes.
think you will want to do, but
No.
it is still an option. To get up to second. Alternatively, you can attempt to just block Chet from behind you from getting any further, which would keep him off the podium, or you can attempt a slam attack backwards to hit Chet, or indeed a slam attack forwards to attack the racer in second, who we have not established, but we can establish if you need to.
Well, what I would like to do is a very elaborate slam attack. Now,
Okay.
Chase would never be seen to be doing anything as agricultural as a slam. So what I would like to do, if the roll goes my way, is to pull the left air brake, rotate the solar wind in sort of 180 degrees.
Okay.
And as that happens, and I'll make it look like a flourish, what will happen is as I'm doing that 180 degree spin, I'll pop the canopy and theatrically bow to my billions of fans.
Okay.
But as I do the rotation, it's just going to clip the front of Chet's vehicle and
Sure.
and send it off course a little.
I'm
hoping that Tracy will be there to capitalise when that happens.
Okay. It's a disguise. It's an attack in disguise.
Exactly, yeah, because the fans see me as a clean cut, racer. But I've let the skeletons get into my head a little bit. I'm fallible.
Hey, it makes you as you initiate this maneuver, you briefly think, I wonder if these kind of tough decisions, and I wonder if this is the kind of thing that Pacer was facing. Perhaps it has something to
Perhaps,
do
yeah. Maybe
why
she
she
ran in with the
disappeared.
wrong crowd.
You
The
knew
wrong
the
crowd
racing would be
being a
hard.
consortium of skeletons.
Yeah, you didn't know
I can't think
how
of a
hard.
situation where a consortium of skeletons are the right crowd, to be honest.
Right, when you attempt a slam attack, that is a weight versus weight
Yes.
contest. If you succeed in this contest, then your opponent takes -2 integrity. Then I will roll a d6. Actually, no, that's damage. Let's say you roll that. You should get to roll that because it's
Okay.
cool. And your opponent, Chet, will have the choice of taking all of that damage additionally or losing one place.
Losing play.
This represents the dilemma when attacked, whether to basically hit the brakes, pull back, and refocus, but losing a position in the process, or say to hell with it to the damage and to just keep the thruster on even as bits start flying off your machine.
Got
So
it.
that is a d6 plus your weight score. Don't forget you can overclock this.
I am going to overclock again because my weight score is 0.
Okay.
So this is more of a finesse move, but I'm going to need the extra help. So
Cool.
again, I'm going to take 2 off. Oh
Yes.
dear.
Burn it all.
right.
You want to like skid across the finish line, mostly
Yeah,
on fire.
as a smoking rag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. All right, here we go. That's a 4 plus 2, so that's 6.
Okay. Let's see how Chet does.
Oh
Yes!
dear, Chet.
We see
Oh,
that?
Chet.
Oh dear, Chet. That is a 1 plus 0. I decided that Chet was not going to overclock, having basically assessed that you are not as much of a threat as they thought. Yeah, this move goes exactly as you describe. As you pop the canopy, you just hop up onto the seat at 1,200 kilometers per hour. You
Yep.
just do a little bow. The heat is intense. You feel your racing suit start to kind of crisp up a little bit, so you do have to like pop back into the canopy.
But I do lock eyes with Chet as I do it,
Sure.
presumably completely throwing him off his.
Oh
his
yeah,
drive.
yeah. He locked eyes with him. He's briefly confused, and as the back of the solar wind just swings into the front of Chet's craft, which oh my gosh, we haven't even named Chet and Flo's machines, have we? Let's find out what they're called because I love doing that. Okay, let's say that Chet's machine is called the Majesty Maxi. Blood red, metallic, arrow shaped, and the Majesty Maxi is just knocked off, goes into a skid. That's -2 integrity for Chet. You see a bit fly off of the Majesty Maxi, and so roll me damage. Roll me damage on that, Chase.
Yep. Okay.
So that's -2 off the bat.
That went on the floor, but it's a 3.
A 3. Okay, Chet. I'll level with you. Chet has 3 integrity. So if Chet was to push through that, Chet would die, and Chet, while we hate him, is no fool. So Chet is going to drop back a position
Behind
means-
Tracy.
behind Tracy. So the situation now, as we head to your turn, Tracy, is that you now have the solar wind ahead of you, and Chet in the Majesty Maxi has just kind of wavered, and with a little bit of smoke coming out of it, has just swung behind you, hit the brakes, and you just nimbly duck out the way in the motor. Right, you've got Chase ahead of you, Chet
Well,
behind.
I would like to slam attack behind. I'd also like to say that as Chet was like ducking back and going out the way, I was like,
Yep, cool.
With all 4 arms.
Sure.
oh, hello.
Sure. Okay, great. So yeah, make me a weight. This is a weight plus weight check.
Okay.
Chet is,
It's a 6 plus 1, 7.
6 plus 1. Oh my gosh.
Chet's getting absolutely monstered here.
Okay. Chet is going to have to. Chet's going to overclock this by. This is potentially a terrible idea for Chet, but Chet is desperate. Chet is going to overclock this by 1.
Okay.
Because otherwise there's literally no way he can win. His weight isn't high enough, or is it?
That is actually true, yeah, because Chet has a weight modifier of 0. So yeah, but Chet doesn't know what you've rolled. I'm inhabiting Chet now.
In the mind of Chet.
Every
What a
time I
horrifying
become
place to be.
yeah, Bro. Chet just cannot stand losing another position. So yeah, Chet is going to overclock this by 1. Come on, Chet. I'm rooting for you, buddy. It's That's 2 plus 3. Okay, Chet made a very bad call. Okay, how does this slam attack look? How does this slam attack look to you, Tracy? What do you do?
Slam
on the brakes, let him just go into you.
Basically, I also kind of want to slightly cover up the fact that I am just slamming him.
Yeah.
So I kind of do a little bit of a wobble, like I've lost control, because I've just been like waving at him and, to be honest, doing other hand gestures at him as he goes past.
Sure.
And so this is like, so I'm still like wave, and then I'm like going to go, whoa, and then brakes. And I'm like, oh no, I can't believe it. I nearly lost control of the motor. So and I just basically kind of like hit the brakes a little bit too hard so that he whacks in the back.
Chet in the Majesty Maxi, has been around a little bit, seen a maneuver like this before, and doesn't try to get out the way, just tries to basically just try to like bounce you off, just tries to fight fire with fire. Which is a terrible idea because the front of the Majesty Maxi just accordions like that right down to the cockpit, and huge gouts of fire. That has actually genuinely taken Chet down to 0 integrity. So Chet's machine is destroyed. He's going to... Okay, I didn't think this would happen, but he's going to... You get a chance to eject, which is a roll of a d6. You can't overclock because you've already used up all your health, and if it's a 1, you die. That's how.
Wow, okay.
So we'll roll for Chet.
You feel real guilty if he dies.
Not even fooling.
Oh dear, oh Chet.
Okay, you in your rearview mirror, Tracy, you see Chet, hit the eject, and the ejector pod goes like that, but just catches, just like that, on some of the kind of twisted wreckage, just goes like that, and actually just catapults Chet out the top, and
Goose.
you just see Chet's
Talk to me, Goose.
small spinning form like that, tiny silhouette just down into the magma field. Whoa! Wow! I can't believe Chet died.
Oh,
okay,
dear.
let's just remove his little counter.
Oh no.
Okay, wow. Anyway, let's see how Flo's doing.
This is a real harsh reality check.
Yeah.
For Chase.
Yeah, right. Okay, right. As you scream over the line at the end of lap 2, Chase, you're in 3rd. Tracy, with 1 kill to your name, you're in 4th.
You mark it on the side of the racer, like a World War II bomber or something.
Add it to the pigeons.
Yeah.
I've got one just a pigeon.
Yeah, there's like 5 pigeons and then a bipedal birdman.
And Flo is going to finish in 8th. Poor Flo, not having a great race. Okay, we have 1 lap left. So we start with you, Chase, in 3rd position. What do you?
I want to advance. I want to bring this one home.
All right.
I've rolled a 2, but
Okay.
that's plus my acceleration racing 2, so 4.
Cool. All right. The pushback is only 1. So
great. Perfect.
cool.
I'll
So
take
I mean,
that for first place.
3, 4. In fact, you just take that in positions not gained, and that'll still get you to 1st. Nice.
Yes. Chase, you were born for this, Chase.
I can't, but from 20th as well. This is been rolling like an absolute demon. I was a little worried when we first figured out the
Chase wasn't
initial
gonna be able to make
positions.
it.
I was like, I don't know if anything's going to happen. But there we go. Good.
Family magic's there.
The family magic's there. Okay, Tracy, you are in 4th.
I'm gonna advance as well. Let's try and get both on the podium. Why not?
Cool.
Oh, kid you not, it's a 6.
Okay, 6 plus your
Plus 1 is 7.
Okay.
You could overtake me.
The pushback is 6.
Oh,
okay.
I'll go 1. That's fine. I've only got 2 integrity left, so I can't.
Cool.
Take.
So what was your
any more,
total roll again? Sorry,
it was 7.
7. Okay, from 4th position, with a pushback roll of 6, you can get up to 3rd, damage free, or you can get up to 2nd and take 1 integrity damage.
I will take one I will go across the finish line
With 1 integrity.
Cool.
Oh dear.
Cool.
Don't want to join
is
Chet
anyone
in the
gonna
lava
hit
bath.
me, though?
That is entirely up to me a few minutes from now. Cool. So you are. Oh, let's just roll for. Well, oh my gosh. Let's see what Flo can do in 8th. You know Flo wants to. You know Flo is enraged right now. Okay. Flo is in 8th. And actually, still 6 integrity. So let's.
Oh, Flo's going to overclock. Floverclock.
Floverclock. Not by much. Flo is cautious and a coward, which is why he's never been as successful as Chet.
Well,
Okay, that is a 3, 4. Flo has actually only made it up to 4th. Okay, so as things stand at the coming into the final straight on lap 3, the race is about to end. We have Chase in first position.
where I was born to be, baby.
Amazingly, we have Tracy. The motor is kind of like smoke is pouring out of every hole, basically.
And there are lots of holes.
And there are a lot of holes. Also, there's like a huge flaming magma chunk kind of embedded in your left engine. That's just kind of smouldering there. It is cool. And you can see a few vehicles behind you is Flo in, we haven't named Flo's machine, but let's say it's the Fury Star. Cool. Okay, and we go now into maneuvers phase. Chase, you
What can I do but hold my position?
well, you do have some options. You can pass basically because you do have a teammate behind you. So in theory, you might not need to do anything. The only other thing you can do in maneuvers phase, you always have the option to drop back one position and then take your turn. So if you wanted, you could drop into second and then make your maneuver
For drama.
But you don't have to. I mean, you're in first. You can just hold it.
I think I've just got to hold the position.
Yeah.
I think Chase, this is it. Victory's on the table. It's the final lap. Chase has got to hold that position.
You're in second, Tracy, with one integrity left. So your options are to go for an overtake on Chase, although he might not thank you for it. You could block the racer behind in third from getting the overtake, or you have a slam attacks also available to you. But if you screw it up, you'll for sure die.
I'm going to block. I'm going to try and keep my
Nice.
second place.
Let's find out who you're trying to block against. Who is currently in third? It is a racer called the Beatific Heaven. The Beatific Heaven is an upgraded appliance droid. So
That found religion? Are we talking about?
yeah, who found religion? Not too dissimilar to you, Tracy. And the Beatific Heaven is in, fittingly enough, a ship called the Avenged Angel,
Wow.
which is another sort of hulking great damage dealer. Nevertheless, they're going to try and overtake you. Desperate for second, I think, and hesitant to slam after seeing how you dispatched Chet. So for defense, roll me a d6 plus your weight.
Okay.
Beatific
Okay.
Heaven. What was that? What did you get?
3 plus 1 is 4.
Okay, the Beatific Heaven rolled a 1. Minus 1 for the acceleration is not going to cut it. Okay, yeah, this kind of lumbering. Obviously, they're a very competent racer to have got this far. You see the kind of like through the cockpit glass, the kind of metallic droid hands kind of whirring as this lumbering ship kind of goes for an overtake. But you just very decisively just weave in front, just keep in front, and
Just the plumes of smoke.
yeah.
I use that to my advantage, so that they're
Yeah.
just like.
Smoke screen.
The Beatific Heaven just can't see where the overtake is, and being quite a cautious droid, actually just sort of backs off.
Didn't want to meet its maker this time.
Yeah, let's see what Flo does. Let's see, because now Flo is in fourth, so it's Flo versus the Beatific Heaven. Flo is definitely going for the overtake. There's 4 versus. Oh, all right. Okay, Wow. Racing like an absolute demon, Flo has made it up to third. So, as you scream across the finishing line, the checkered flag comes down. Chase, coming from 20th, incredibly, you have won in first position your first rip race. Terrific work, congratulations. Barely any less good. Tracy screaming across in second, just a blur across the line. The roar from the crowd is like, right, what? As they like look at these machines that they've never seen before and try to come to terms with who exactly has won here. As you step out your machines and onto the podium, you take first and second place. It's going to
be real awkward on the podium, isn't it?
Yeah. Flo basically comes storming towards you and basically uses third as a launch pad to just kind of spring at you, just like swinging his fist, but security is on Flo and dragging Flo away, and Flo receives his third place reward from...
I play it up to the crowd. I'm like...
yeah, the crowd is like... You hear someone shout,
his brother just died.
Cool. Okay, fantastic work. Let's talk rewards.
I'm just like, boo.
Cool. All right. So in first, wow, you both did so well. I can't believe it. Chase, in first place, you've won 15 volts and 4,000 crits. So, we may never play this again, but did you, should you want to, you could mark that down.
I do. What was it?
15 volts, 4,000 crits.
But I can add that to the 2,500 crits and the 6 volts that I'm getting from the skeletons later.
Yeah, that's right. 1 volt repairs 1 integrity. So you will probably be wanting to yeah, so you'll probably be wanting to spend some of that. And then generally, in terms of upgrading, 15 volts is the sort of standard price for an upgrade, and an upgrade gets you 1 point in either acceleration or weight. So you might have enough to make it, or you might want to, just put some by for repairs.
I'm going to do my post-race interview.
Yeah.
And I end it, I give a pressy of the sort of entire race, or a wrap-up of the entire race. And then I'm like, and Pacer, if you're out there, I'll find you. And then I sign the microphone and throw it into the crowd.
Nice. The crowd roars
Don't
its
sell
appreciation.
that!
I won't! You hear back from the crowd.
Is it the same guy who was like, his brother just died?
His brother just died.
Back on side.
Yeah, back on. Yeah, you've won them over again. It's a real roller coaster. Cool. Tracy, you get 14 volts to take away with you and 3,800 crits. Flo gets also a similarly hefty reward, but it's
not going to fill the void left by his brother.
Ashes in his mouth. Also, you get some additional rewards. Who did a slam attack? I think you both did, didn't you? You both did a successful one. For each slam you successfully perform, the league cuts you a one-off profit share payment of 500 crits, boosted to 1,500 crits if the slam destroys a competitor's machine or forces them to retire. So 1,500 crits to you. That is that's because the league sells these little commemorative holo cards of every horrible
bank,
crash. It shows like looping footage. It's like a GIF. It's like a little Pokemon card with a GIF of a crash on it. Ghoulish collectors hoard these keepsakes. It's grim. But they cut you in. So add 500 and add 1,500, Chase and Tracy respectively. And to finish the session, we will skip you to the hangar where Mary Weslington is sort of breaking open the space champagne, can hardly believe this intense reversal of fortunes, and a long day of interviews and a long night of partying, at the end of which Chase, as you are stumbling out of a bathroom in a very fancy bar in Vobraids, in Crater City's core district, the familiar figure of the skeleton sort of comes out of the shadows. Says, "Nice work."
Thank you.
Hands over the goods. And says,
I look around for the press again.
Yeah.
I don't see any, but that doesn't mean they're not there because I did just win my first race.
You almost made that look accidental.
Hmm.
And the skeleton kind of chuckles. It's a horrible noise. It's like.
Oh no! Do that again,
yeah.
please.
I'm like next to him. And I'm like, have you got? Can we open that briefcase, or do we need a skeleton key?
The skeleton goes, "Oh yeah, sorry, of course," and it just
Hands the key.
just a little, yeah, hands over an enormous bone key, and chuckles and says, "Something tells me Flo won't be so quick next time to enlist the help of the Skeleton Consortium." And
Oh dear.
is off back into.
It was his fault all along. I'm guilt-free.
Yeah!
We'll see if it stands up in court.
Consequences.
Guilt-free. That's the best outcome of any role-playing session. Cool. Well, that'll do it for this session. I think.
Hooray!
Great
Well
work, both
done.
of you.
Great.
That was fun.
Yeah, I can't believe how well you both did there, with some really rough starting positions. Yeah, absolutely took it to Chet and Flo, and a brilliant
Also,
start.
Chet, R.I.P.
Yeah, this video is dedicated to Chet.
in memory of Chet.
So thank you very much, both of you, for playing Gravity Rip. And if you at home want to play it, then there's links in the description where you can buy a PDF or a print version. Beautiful illustrations by Colin Craker, who also did our Blades in the Dark art.
Yeah.
Look how luscious it is, and illustrated.
It's a real thing. Look.
Look, it's a real thing. Look, there's
There you
stuff you
go.
can print out and copy. There's like a character sheet there. Anyway,
Amazing.
cool. Thank you so much. You both did great.
Thanks.
Thank you for making such a fun game.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
it was really
I'm
good fun.
Glad you enjoyed
Absolutely in my absence of wheels.
it. And yeah, let me just finally say, R.I.P. Chet. The sport will never be the same without you.
Better, I'd
Thanks.
say.
The sport will be a bit better without you.
Guilt-free.